Most mysterious extant human species. The ancient human family tree is complicated. An evolutionary trajectory that was once presented as a straight line has been abandoned, and our history is envisioned representing the interplay between physical and cultural adaptations across species. The story of the Homo genus is a saga that spans more than 2 million years and at least 3 continents, demonstrating our ancestors' ability to adapt to nearly any environment. Here are most mysterious extant human species. 1. Homo heidelbergensis. Some 700,000 to 200,000 years ago, the Homo heidelbergensis existed in Europe and maybe Asia. An enormous brow ridge, a noticeably larger brain case, and a flatter face than those of previous human species characterized this early human species. The earliest early human to dwell in a colder climate was this one. Their wider, shorter bodies, which helped in heat conservation, are thought to have allowed them to achieve this. They were the first known species to use wooden rocks to construct shelters, to be skilled with fire, and to regularly hunt huge game with wooden spears. They were originally discovered in 1908 by workers in Heidelberg, Germany, and that is how they acquired their name. 2. Homo rudolfensis. The Homo rudolfensis lived in eastern Africa between 1.9 and 1.7 million years ago. There is only a single, high-quality fossil of this extremely ancient human species, which was discovered in Kenya in 1986. The size of the brain case and the discovered specimen distinguishes the Homo rudolfensis from other species. Its 775 cubic centimeter measurement, which is significantly greater than any specimen of any previous species, suggests a far more powerful and capacious brain. We don't know much about Homo rudolfensis because its fossil dates back so far in the past. 3. Homo habilis. Homo habilis is one of the longest surviving species lived in eastern and southern Africa between 2.3 and 1.4 million years ago. They are considered to be among the oldest Homo species and represent one of the initial stages of our current species' evolutionary history. Compared to their predecessors, they had a larger brain case, a smaller face, and fewer teeth, but they still exhibited ape-like traits like longer arms and legs. In 1960, the first fossil of Homo habilis was verified to have existed. Naturally, we don't know much about them yet because they lived a very long time ago. 4. Homo floresiensis. A hobbit, Homo floresiensis, existed in Indonesia between 100,000 and 500,000 years ago. This species, which was only found in 2003, is among the most recent to be identified. This species was incredibly small, a characteristic that is assumed to have resulted from island dwarfism. Their height was only approximately 3 feet 6 inches, receding foreheads, no chins, and very little brains. These calculations are based on the discovery of a female skeleton, which also indicates that they may have weighed as much as 66 pounds. For biologists, the finding of this species has created more questions than it has answers. 5. Homo erectus. The Homo erectus, the longest surviving human species, lived in Africa and Asia between 1.9 and 1.4 million years ago. They are the oldest species that have been shown to have characteristics similar to our own. They were skilled with hand tools, such as axes, and there's even evidence that they looked after the sick and old. These modifications demonstrate that this species was able to run and walk erect while living on the ground. This species' fossils have been discovered all over the world, including in China, Indonesia, Spain, and various African nations. 6. Homo neanderthalensis. Homo neanderthalensis lived around Europe and the Middle East between 400,000 to 40,000 years ago. They coexisted with modern humans for a considerable amount of time before going extinct, making them our closest extinct human relatives. This species was capable of cognitive cognition and was able to adapt to some of the toughest settings, despite their reputation as stupid cave dwellers. Neanderthalensis made tools out of stone and wood, used fire for a variety of tasks, constructed their own shelters, and even donned clothing.